This is the new Jaguar I-Pace, and it's a bit like me, Meghan Markle. You see, I revolutionized the royal family, and this car is revolutionizing Jaguar. In fact, there's me leaving my wedding in an electric Jaguar E-Type. Yeah, that's enough of that. I just had it left over from a garden party. Anyway, this new Jaguar I-Pace, it starts from £63,000. But if you want to see how much you can save on a new car, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or on the link below the video to go to carwow.com. I really like the inside of this I-Pace. It feels like a proper Jaguar in the way that it's got a sporty seating position. So the steering wheel is at the perfect location. Of course, you can adjust it for height and reach, so it doesn't matter if you're big or small. And it's jacked up, so you get a good view out, but you sit quite cocooned in the car. It's nice, and the quality is pretty much about as good as I've experienced in any modern Jaguar. So there's soft material on the dash, it extends down here, you've got shiny bits here, you've got fabric on the door trim, the steering wheel's nice as well, and you can control various functions using the buttons on the steering wheel, and you've got a digital driver's display, of course, because it's a modern car, and so it should have digital dials, not analog ones. It's quite easy to actually flick through the different menus and stuff. It's not as nice and bright as the latest systems you get from Audi and Mercedes, but I still like it. Then there's the main central infotainment screen here, which is widescreen, and get that as standard on this car. It's all right to use. You can get a little bit lost in the menus, and when you're driving, it's a bit fiddly to operate, but it's all right. Now, if you want to see my full in-depth review of that, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen for my in-depth infotainment system review for this car. Now, there's also another screen down here, which is for the climate control. I kind of like the idea of it, but in practice, it's not that good because depending on where you sit, you can't really see what it's saying because the screen seems to pick up light reflections. Now, you can just use the dials to set the temperature and stuff, and they're easy to see and use, but it's a bit annoying when you're driving along to be having to look down to operate that. I do like the design though, and the way they've created some storage here and there's some more storage here. You've got deep cup holders here, which is good, and really deep central bin here with charging point there for your phone and use stuff like Apple CarPlay. Door bins, they're large here in the front, big bottle fit in there. The glove box is a so-so size. I think many Jaguar drivers probably wear driving gloves, don't they? Yes. The thing that really stands out for me though are these seats. Now, they don't come as standard on the base model, but you get them on the HSC. They are lovely sports seats. They just feel super special. I do like those a lot. Now, let's see what it's like for people in the back. First thing to note is this. This huge wheel arch does make it a bit of a, well, you have to climb over it to get in. That's not great, but once you're in, there's plenty of room. I've got loads of knee room. Headroom is pretty good. This has got the optional panoramic glass roof and it doesn't eat into headspace, and also it's not got a blind on it, so that would normally eat into headspace if you had a blind, but it doesn't have one. It uses some kind of like tinting effect like you get on sunglasses. But yeah, loads of room. The door bins here in the back are pretty small, but you do have some cup holders there, and I think this is just a little extra storage area. I don't know what you're going to keep in there. There's no through loading though on this car, which is a bit annoying. Another thing that's annoying is this, look, Isofix. They're covered by these removable covers, which you'll easily lose. And this one, look, well, if I show you this one, that clips in and out, but that's lost its kind of clippiness. Down here, you've got USB inputs, 12-volt socket as well. Almost a pretty flat floor as well. So you think maybe this would be good for carrying 3 in the back at once, but oh no. Because while those outer seats are brilliant, the central seat, look, my head's hitting that. Also, if you have 3 abreast in the back here, the way this roof slopes means that if you're in the outer chairs, you end up like that. That's not good luck. Now, in terms of the boot, the practicality does continue. It's got a huge boot. It's actually slightly larger than the F-Paces, as you can see. Absolutely massive. Now, the batteries for this car are actually underneath the floor, so it doesn't affect the boot space. And as you can see, there's no load lip really to lift stuff over. I'm just going to remove the parcel shelf. It's very light. Some might say flimsy. Look at that. Unfortunately, there's nowhere to leave it in the car. It won't quite fit underneath this particular area you've got here, which is some extra storage, but more on that later. Now, when I fold the seats down, so if you want to carry longer items, they don't lie completely flat, but they are flush with the rest of the boot floor, so you can actually slide items to the front. And they probably wanted me to illustrate that, and I haven't got my suitcase. Don't worry. Look, see, that's what I mean. They will slide back down again. Now, there are some other bits and pieces in the car which help with the practicality a bit more. We've got some really sturdy tether hooks there There's some curry hooks there. You have your 12-volt socket there if you want to plug in an electric vacuum cleaner to hoover out the boot. So yeah, very, very practical car. For more on that, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen to watch my detailed practicality video.
Now then, it's time for the CarWow 5 annoying things about this car.
The space underneath the boot floor is designed to hold the charging cables, but yeah, you're not really going to be able to fit them all in there and shut it nice and neatly. Look. See? And while there is some extra storage underneath the bonnet in the front, it's tiny. Probably just enough room for my mobile phone. Great. Jaguar says that you can charge the I-Pace's 90 kilowatt hour battery to 80% full in just 45 minutes if you do it at a 100 kilowatt charging station, of which there are currently none in the UK. So you're going to have to use a 50 kilowatt rapid charger, so it's going to take 90 minutes. And if you want to charge it using the normal mains, it's going to take well over a day. For some reason, Jaguar decided not to fit the I-Pace with a rear windscreen wiper. So if you're driving along and you can't see out the back, you're going to have to pull over, get out and, well, wipe it yourself. This HSE version of the I-Pace gets 360-degree view surround cameras, and I bet it looks brilliant on this huge widescreen display. Let's check it out. That's it.
Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this. Here's 5.
You can get the I-Pace with a special key which remembers your settings for the infotainment system, your seat and the climate control, and will set it just as you like it when you get in the car. Also, you can get an activity key which allows you to lock the normal key in the car, then use this to open it so you can go off and just do an activity such as swimming or something. It's dead tough, you can't break it, I hope. If the I-Pace's software needs an update, it can be done just over the internet without you having to visit a dealer. Just like with the Tesla then. You can get a special Jaguar app for your phone which has Amazon Alexa, and you can ask her various things about the car, such as, Alexa, do I have enough charge to get to work?
No.
Oh dear. Actually, that wasn't Amazon Alexa, it was our producer Sam, but you get the idea. There's a special storage space just underneath the rear seats, specifically designed to hold your iPad. And then there's another one just between the two cup holders for your mobile phone. How very modern. There's a little Jaguar leaper just here, embossed in the rear reflector. And there's another one here in the front reflector. Oh, isn't that nice? One of the most remarkable things about the I-Pace is its acceleration, so I'm going to launch it now. It really pushes you back in the seat, and that's 60. 60 miles an hour, I like that. Anyone who says electric cars are boring doesn't know what they're talking about. This thing is super fast. You put your foot down and my God, it takes off. In fact, I'm sure it takes off faster than any other Jaguar. You get instant power and you've got 400 horsepower from the 2 electric motors. So all-wheel drive grip as well. It just goes, and it goes with an eerie silence as well. It's really cool. I like it. I like driving it, and it feels like a Jaguar, so it's got a sporty setup to it. Now, this does mean that the suspension can feel a little bit unsettled when you're driving around town, so it does fidget about over bumps a bit. But the faster you go, the better it gets, though most people will be driving electric cars in town, so that could be a bit of a problem. You can get the car with air suspension, which is a little bit more comfortable. Speaking of driving in town, the visibility forwards is good because you sit up high, but this pillar is pretty large. View at the back is awful though, and there's a huge rear blind spot at the rear 3/4, which isn't great. Another thing to note around town is that the brakes can feel a little bit odd. So at first you press them and nothing much happens, and then all of a sudden they're biting and you're stopping really suddenly. There's almost like 2 stages to the brakes, and that's partly due to the way that they have a regenerative effect. When you press the brake, the first part is actually using the electric motors to charge the batteries. The second part is actual proper brakes. You can just drive this car around using the throttle without actually touching the brakes, because when you lift off the throttle, you get an engine braking effect. It feels like you're really tuned into the car. Now, Jaguar says this I-Pace will probably do around 300 miles on a charge, which is pretty good actually. Though the faster you drive it, the less range you'll get. But that's the same with a normal petrol car, though obviously they're just easier to fill up. Now, as you go faster, you do start to notice a bit of tyre noise. There's not too much wind noise, and obviously there's no engine noise, but the tyre noise can get on your nerves after a while. but it feels really stable and planted at speed. And that brings me on to the handling, because Jaguars are supposed to feel sporty, but this is a heavy car, 2.1 tons. Yeah, if you chuck it into a corner, it doesn't really roll much. It kind of grips and just does a great job of going round. And when you lift off the accelerator, it tucks in and it's quite lively. This feels like a proper Jaguar. It feels like an exciting car. It's actually got a 50-50 weight distribution for perfect handling. And then there's the other element to it. You see, if you want, as it's all-wheel drive, you can take it off-road, and it does actually have an off-road setting as well. Yes, off-roading in my electric car. Let's just hope I don't get stuck, otherwise you'll never see me again. Now, if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or the link below the video, you can go to carwow.com for more information on the I-Pace and to see how much money you can save on a new car. And there's something I forgot to show you in the review. Look, it was this. When you close the car, the door handles go in flush. Look at that, just like on a Tesla. So then, what's my overall verdict on the I-Pace? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon if you're looking for an electric car and you want something posh that drives well, you should shortlist this. Yeah, I think it's the best Jaguar you can buy right now.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment on it and share it. Also click on our logo to subscribe to this channel. And if you click on the bottom right hand corner, you can actually watch more of our content. Meanwhile, click over to the right to go to our deals page to see how much money you can save on a new car at CarWow.